TGIM. We'll see how the beginning portion of this show goes without our normal people here. Like I said, should have a few people popping in. On Mondays, they typically pop in around 5 after or so. So
And there's
appreciate
Virgil,
y'all
by
being
the
here.
way.
There he is. All right, cool. Virgil, I'm gonna put you as co-host as well, just in case Gene has to leave. There's Johnny. See, just like I told you. TGIM. Yes. All right. Hello and welcome, everybody. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. So we're live on YouTube, and my name is Robert Blakely. I'll be your host, better known as the Blakester. This is our Monday Mastermind for the Lost Transition. We welcome you. And if you're joining us live on YouTube, feel free to pop into the live room simply by going to live.thelosttransition.com. We welcome you. The way this works in a Monday Mastermind is first off, we like to hear from our audience. It typically shows up every Monday. We like to hear some of those wins, and then we go through a little training piece. I drop some gold nuggets when it comes to sales and sales psychology. And then we open it up for Monday, like true mastermind. We kind of want to get your feedback on what you learned for the day. And in essence, if you go through, like I was briefly explaining to Anna, if you want to join us, just go to thelosttransition.com, the website itself. You can sign up as a free member. It's better if you upgrade, you have more access to more things, but either way, inside there, you can go into the Learn Hub, and all of them are categorized from week one when we started recording and going live on YouTube at the beginning of this year. The whole premise is over the next 52 weeks, well, we're in week 25 now, but over these 52 weeks, we're bringing a piece of information to everybody so that you take notes, put that into your repertoire, learn as you go, and start implementing the things that we're teaching. But I teach something that most don't teach, and it's sales psychology, right? This is coming from 40 years of sales background, doing all kinds of different things when it comes to sales, training multiple teams. We've been responsible for millions of dollars for the companies that we work for. So in essence, my legacy is to try to pass on some of this information to other people, make the what seems difficult a lot simpler just by knowing psychology and how people work, right? So that's how the show goes. That's how our Monday Mastermind works. So appreciate y'all being here. And I want to just say publicly, real quickly, Gene, appreciate you having you back and great seeing you. We missed you. Welcome, Dr. Lisa. Hello, Johnny. Hello, Virgil. Hello, Jorge. And hello, Anna. So anybody want to get us started with some wins that they got? I know I've got a couple, but I do need some time to cover this information. The information I'm going to give you guys today, I'm not gatekeeping. And if you know me, you certainly know that I practice what I preach. And in essence, man, I want to give you guys like the keys to being able to open up conversations, have quick and meaningful conversations without being pushy or salesy, getting people interested, all those typical things that we talk about in network marketing. So if you guys got some wins, let's start the show. You raise your hand or let me know what wins you're at. Hey, Doraya, appreciate you popping in. Great to have you. Virgil, you want to get us started? You know,
Yes,
when
why not?
y'all don't say anything, I'm gonna call you out.
No worries. I'm always good for that. I love counting my blessing. I think it's essential. And what you do here is great, opening up the conversation with that, reminding everybody that if you are consistent in your aim throughout the week, you must be winning something. And it's important to keep that in mind. And that's my win, actually. The past week has been challenging. I would say the past 2 weeks as well have been challenging, technical difficulties, team. It's good that you're talking about team because the consistency that my win was finding a way to consistently maintain my conversation because the momentum that I had with my team started fizzling a little bit, not because of lack of passion or involvement. It's just the things of life happening. And I have to have a little bit of discernment to assess what was happening because that's also being the big part of being a leader is yes, you want to drive people with your passion. Yes, you want to keep them infused. But since your life or their life everybody's life is intricately involved in this endeavor. You have to mind the happening of life, right? Things that can happen, the circle of family and such. So instead of seeing this as a loss of momentum, I kept in mind the greater picture because everything that we're doing with the recording studio label and this artist incubator is taking shape and requiring some administrative attention. And through that also, I was meeting new talents. So increasing actually the size of my team and the network. And it was important on the first rapport or the first contact to be able to come across genuinely, but also pitching my business, pitching that understanding, right? Pitching the implication of really joining these teams because these are new members that are have talent, have something to contribute, have also their aspiration, and part of these collective is being able to show that well, your dream, your goals, your aspiration are in tandem with what we're doing, right? So placing that conversation and placing also my position in the administrative spot that I have was essential each time. And I got to say that each time the relationship building was very, it was, I walked away of every exchange inspired for more, which is what you hope to achieve every time you have a conversation with somebody like that.
Sure.
So that was my big win. And it was challenging because not only the things that are life were happening on my team's side, but also on my side. So keeping that focus, keeping that discipline is important, especially in our space here as entrepreneurs. So that's
Look,
my win.
I agree with you 100% and kudos to you. And to kind of piggyback on that, look, if you don't know yet, we're all gonna be tested, if you will, right? I feel you, bro, especially the last couple weeks because I feel like Satan's over there trying to attack me just like a bunch of little mosquitoes, you know? The mosquito season is bad over here because of all the rain, and it just reminds me of that. Like when you're in business, especially for yourself, you're gonna run through challenges, right? It's how you overcome those challenges or how you look at things. As an example, maybe the power outage. I know we had an issue with power outage here last week on Saturday before the inner circle meetings that we do. And, the best thing that I can say is you just got to show up. If it's due to technical difficulties or things that are beyond your control, well, that's one thing. But I see a lot of people that are out there that they'll make the first excuse that they can to not be consistent. You know what I mean? So kudos to you on the consistency. You're consistent about being consistent. I love it. I love it. Appreciate you sharing, brother. Any other wins that you guys want to share? Anybody else?
Thank you.
Oh, and we need to talk afterwards, Virgil, if you will, if you got time. Let's connect.
Yes, we do. Yeah, full hour.
Sure. I don't know if we need a whole hour, but sure. Go ahead, G.
All right. Well, thank
Appreciate
you. Basically my big win is getting excited about something that I haven't been excited about anything in over a year and just getting excited about something new and it's me.
it. Yay.
Um I had been thinking about doing YouTube channel or changing up my YouTube channel to review wrestling shows, so WWE's Raw and SmackDown stuff like that. That just I'm very judgmental about that subject because of my involvement with pro wrestling for years, and I might I was seeing it that it might lead to maybe ring announcing or commentary down the road, so like that, but it also might step on some toes and make some people mad, and that might interfere with things because I'm going to tell it like it is. And then it dawned on me, I watch TV. Why don't I do something on a TV show? So that's what I'm doing. Is Gene has concerns. I got with ChatGPT and started putting stuff in and said that I was going to do the work on the first episode is going to be Exploration Unknown with Josh Gates because I love that show.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm just going to, the way that I talk and kind of take my what I do with my with my wrestling and everything already, and just kind of roll it into that. And uh, I've even got a poopsie scale. I don't know if you can see that, where zero poopsies is good, five poopsies is bad. You know,
I love it. I love it.
and it's not just for the show, but it's things during the show. But I'm going to do that show, and I'm also going to do Dark Side of the Ring because my wrestling background and everything. And
Sure.
because I love Star Trek, I'm going to do the final season of Strange New Worlds,
Okay.
and then branch off into other shows, and also do, maybe some news segments. Something big happens in the news, maybe do that. But just try to draw people. But I've already gotten 6 new subscribers in 3 days.
Nice. Okay.
And that's just by just putting myself out there a little bit. But I got excited about me again,
Hey.
and doing what I can do. So hopefully it turns into something good. And I know it's a 2-year project minimum. So I got to invest the full 2 years into it and not give up on myself. And I
Mm,
think it'll be a lot of fun. I think people will be excited and, will like to, uh, uh, watch. So, um,
absolutely.
and the channel is Gene Has Concerns. And literally, if you go to genehasconcerns.com, that's the YouTube channel. So GENE. So I bought that domain and
Cool.
redirected it there. So
Perfect. And that's a beautiful thing too, because well, first off, congratulations. That's freaking
thank you.
exciting. I'm excited for you. All of us
Thank
are
you.
excited for you. Feel free to type it in the chat down below either way so that they could just click on it and they don't have to
Hmm.
search, right? Let's make it easy for everyone. Secondly, I have to say this, brother. I'm excited because you're passionate about something. I literally just had this conversation yesterday and all the time. Look, if you're not passionate about what it is that you're doing the wrong thing.
Hmm.
You're doing the wrong thing. So for you to be able to get reignited from over a year, I'm happy. Like I can't wait to see where it goes. Is it all going to be on one channel or are you making multiple channels?
I'm going to do it all on one channel and do different playlists for the different shows and stuff. And, it would be one playlist for news updates and a playlist for um, Josh Gates' show and stuff like that.
I love it.
And, just kind of branch off from there, and just basically see what happens. If, either people are going
Absolutely.
to really get excited about it or poopsie all over it. I don't know which.
That's it, brother. That's it. Well,
But
I'll tell you what, I will definitely be going to your link. I will definitely be a subscriber. Speaking of subscribing, if you're on YouTube watching us, hit that subscribe button while you're
mhm.
here. Don't forget to like, comment, follow, hit the bell notification.
And
So, Gene, that's
can I
awesome.
say one? Can I throw
Yeah,
one thing to Ray real quick before I
please
forget?
do.
Ray, I don't know if you saw this or not, but I watched that UFC event at the White House, and Meta is giving veterans who are blind their new Meta glasses for free. Their AI Meta glasses.
Wow.
So look into that. If you have any blind veterans that you work with,
There you go.
they're doing it for free. So definitely, look into that for anybody for assistance. It was really cool. They had one guy, veteran there, and he's able to just do things because the Meta glasses are talking to him about what he could be seeing.
Oh, okay. That's
So,
pretty
but I just
awesome.
want to throw that at you, Dorea. So you work with veterans, check into that. So,
Absolutely perfect. Thanks for sharing that nugget, man. See,
and thank you everybody for the comments.
yeah, man. Awesome. Again, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you coming back, man. We missed you, man. We really did. So thanks for coming back and bringing the value that you normally bring, brother.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. Okay. I do need some time. So any last wins? Anybody got a will share? Once, going twice.
I mean, I don't know if it's a win,
Sure it is.
but I do like to be pursued. You know what I mean? Just like any woman does, we like to be pursued, even though we might not be interested,
As long
right?
as it's not a stalker.
Uh, no, a position got opened a couple hours away from us in the city in Oklahoma City for to be over the Women's Veterans Department for the whole state of Oklahoma.
Holy smokes. Holy smokes.
I try to tell them I'm retired. But yeah. Yeah.
You're contracted as a
Wow.
consultant only.
Maybe,
Wow.
yes, maybe I can create a position. That's a great idea, Gene. Maybe I can create a position because I'm sure they're going to have a hard time filling that actual spot. But just to be approached, um, is huge. My name is getting out there. It's huge. Yeah.
That is amazing. Can let's stew on that for just a moment because I think we really need to stew on this for just a minute. When did you start this journey? It wasn't long ago.
No, yeah, because we just it was like a couple of months before I found out we even had a Women's Veterans Day last year. So
Been a
it's a
year.
little over like maybe 14 months,
Love it.
14, 15 months.
Look at that. Wow. Wow. Kudos to you,
Yeah,
Joe. Kudos to you. Congratulations. Like I can't wait to see
thank you.
where it goes and thank you for being a part of the community and coming in here and sharing those wins. Like you just impressed me. You know I love you anyway because you're my military sister from another mister, you know? And you know I love and support everything you do. So congratulations to you, man. That's
Thank you.
good. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
So awesome. Kind of hard to follow that, but I'm going to drop just a couple of wins and then let's get started unless somebody wants to interrupt me and add. Did get my tooth removed. Yay, no more
Sorry,
pain.
sorry, Robert. Can I
Yes.
ask one thing to understand better Doria? If I understood Doria, it's a veteran woman, a military woman. It's that.
Yes.
Okay, I
Yes,
was trying
ma'am.
to understand because sometimes with the English, sometimes
Yes.
I'm thinking,
No, no, that's
okay,
a great
congratulations.
question. That's a great question. Thank you for asking. And she is only what she was explaining too, and why I wanted to stew on it. She only started this journey 14 months ago. She started saying, okay, well, I'm going to get involved. She's going to step into her power. And she stepped into her power and started holding local community events for veterans and started getting her name out there. Now they want her to like lead the entire state for women's veterans. That's huge. That's a big, big, big honor. So,
Yes.
Beautiful,
yeah,
Yep.
congratulations.
yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, there's over 30,000 female veterans in the state of
right.
Oklahoma. And yeah, they're looking for another lady that served in the military. So when we say veterans, we served in the military. I was in the Army for almost 13 years.
Very
And
good.
so I've been actively helping and supporting, especially women veterans who are harder to identify and provide service for. So they need somebody unique for that position. And so I'm grateful that I had talked to who could be my potential boss, who came to me on a side note and shared his thoughts.
I
It's a,
love
we have representations, and always when Americans talk about veterans, I always have the image of men. It's
it. Sure.
it's
Ex-
representation we have. So I was
exactly.
trying to understand if it is a veteran woman, military. Oh, fantastic! I'm very happy.
And we're trying to change that stigma because so many other people, including Americans, think the same way. So thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for your
Girl
question.
power. I love it. I love you, girl. Congratulations again. Um, moving on, ad network inside the Lost Transition is completed now too. So if you're an upgraded member, you can go in there and place your advertising in there so that your downline members will see it. Anybody you refer will see your ads, not ours. Conference and Messenger is the last thing that I have left to do. And also this last week, we got upgraded server space. Oh, I'm so excited. And it was at no cost. So yeah, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, those are my wins. Let's go ahead and dive into the content for today because it's very important. Like I said, I do need some time to talk about it. So let me start sharing my screen. All right, so you are, of course, and always going to want to take some notes. This is where the rubber meets the pavement, as I like to say, or so to speak. And here is slide number one. So, talk about week 25. This is opening lines that work. However, I'm going to preface this as I'm mostly geared towards network marketing or networking in general. Okay. The things that I teach, as most of you guys that have been around me for a while, you guys know that we work with attraction marketing. We don't want to be chasing anybody around. It's just too exhausting. What we want to do is we want to be able to pique people's curiosity so that we draw attention to ourselves or to what it is that we're doing, and then be able to switch and have a conversation that's meaningful, not pushy, not salesy, and this is the framework, literally. So I'm not gatekeeping, as I mentioned earlier before. I'm giving it to you. We're even streaming it live on YouTube, right? But if you do want to support the channel, support what we're doing here, feel free to go to losttransition.com, become an upgraded member. It's only $37 per month, so it's super cheap. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. But with that, you get these trainings. You also get additional tools. That being said, we want to teach you guys how to attract, connect, and then convert. And it's interesting too because, as Rita and most of you guys know, I find it very interesting how the universe works, especially in my world. And I do believe that everything happens for a reason. And it was kind of funny that my morning started off with jumping onto Facebook and seeing a video from Ray Higdon. I don't mind mentioning his name. We're not bashing him. He's a great guy, great trainer. But a lot of the things that people like himself and others teach are kind of an old school mentality, if you will. They're not they're not blended the way that we like to blend them. At least myself, I don't want to teach something that's going to give a bad first impression, if you will, right? And I only say that because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So when you first approach somebody, you have an opening line. It's important that you actually attract that attention. So how does that happen? How do we go from that person that is unsure of who to talk to and even what to say? Because that's the biggest problem that most network marketers have. They don't know where to find their clientele, and then once they find the clientele, what do they say to them, right? So this is something that I've taken not only my 40 years of experience, but also the mentorship, but my direct marketing, and infused it with this whole network marketing thing. So instead of going out there and pitching and selling, we're going to use law of attraction. We're going to then connect with them and then convert them if if it's convertible, shall we say, right? So in this part, we're actually in phase four of those 52 weeks that I originally mentioned. And this is talking about conversation mastery. So not only today, but over the next couple of weeks, we're going to start getting into more of the conversation mastery as far as like we're starting off now with the opening lines of work, but then we're going to go and we're going to start discussing some of these common objections that people tend to get. We're going to work through those as well. So welcome to week 25. So again, what we want to do is we want to stop chasing. Okay. I don't know about you. We briefly, jokingly talked about you know having people want to come to you, but not in a stalker sense, right? There's something that I mentioned when I was listening to that video this morning. He was talking about why people object. Realistically, what I know to be true from my years of experience is that you're only going to get objections if you're not following the protocol, like not doing the presentation the right way. Whenever you pique some disinterest in their mind, that's where the objections come, right? So if you've been following along for any amount of time, you know that I talk about the buying line. This is one of my favorite things to discuss because when you understand how the buying line works and how sales are actually just a range of emotions that you're transferring, you can learn to read the emotion not only if you're, in front of somebody in body language, but you can also listen to them and auditorily hear cues that you can pick up on that will lead you to believe either to move forward or move backwards or move sideways, right? But the part that I'm getting at is there's this thing called no like trust, right? I'm sure we've all heard of it. But the funny part is that I feel like it's kind of backwards. I feel like the like should actually come first, right? And it should. So I want you to think about this for a second and comment down below if you disagree or if you agree, whatever. Part of this is because if they don't even like you, they're not going to listen to you. Feel me? Like it doesn't matter how many objections that you can handle. This is coming from somebody that can handle three, four, five objections and still get somebody to say yes to them. Right? If they don't like you initially, they're not going to want to listen. Psychologically, that wall, that barrier automatically comes up, right? So people don't buy from like who they know, they buy from who they like. So there's that no like trust that has to happen. So the like actually comes first, then the no, and then the trust. Make sense? Everybody with me? Okay. So the old way leads to the offer, and then it gives you a fast no. If you're trying to just say, as an example, without giving away too many of the slides, are you open to new opportunities? Like that's so old school, and it's like just asking for a no, if you will, right? So instead, we want to use the law of attraction. This way that we draw those people into us, build the likability, earn the right to even have a real conversation with them. And when I say a real conversation, I mean a real conversation, not a conversation that you want to just try to share or spam your link. Okay. You don't open with a pitch, you open with the person. Right. So it's very important for us to understand this, especially if we're new into network marketing, because if you don't get this right, you're going to be you're going to be struggling for a long time. I talk about this all the time and how there have been plenty of adults that I've trained and they've gotten to know because they didn't do the presentation right to where they've sat on a corner and cried because of that rejection. What we're trying to do here is trying to avoid that rejection for you, like keep you away from it so that it doesn't kill your spirit, your mood, and doesn't keep you moving forward, right? Because seriously, you can lose passion in something like sales if you get enough no's. I can tell you that from experience because I've had my share of no's. But what I learned throughout this process again is building that likability. If you can't build the likability and connect with somebody within the first like 3 to 5 minutes, there's not a there's not a second chance to make that first impression. You're gonna have to work harder to get that person as a customer versus just doing simple things. Just being a person and listening instead of trying to get a sell. Okay? So let's not beat that dead horse. Here's why the old well fails low. Okay, if you're doing what we were just talking about, and you're leading with that pitch, again, it's outdated, number one, and it's going to cost you that relationship. For me, I've had people that we've created the relationship. You know, things led to a conversation to where they got exposed to the information, but maybe they weren't ready at the time. But there's never been a time that it's like, oh well, fine, get it now, or that's it. Like, you know, emotionally detached from whatever the answer or outcome is. So if they say yes, great. If they say no, that's okay too, right? But then I've had people that have said no or weren't interested at the time that have come back a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, even a year later and joined my business. Why? Because I wasn't that pushy person. Now understand this methodology and what I'm talking about does take time. And you have to build your pipeline just like any other business. But if you're leading with those old ways, it's not going to share that likability. You're not going to get the likability that you want, right? Hold on here. Lower this hand. It's bugging me. Right? Then most of all, it's going to ruin your first impression. And as I mentioned, you never get a second chance to meet a first impression. I can't stress this enough. You know, I've said this multiple times before. I've had agents that I've personally trained and sent them to a door and they've crashed miserably. And then I was able to come right behind them and pick it up and get the sale, right? And then that person would look at me, the trainee would look at me and say, how the hell did you do that? Right? It just comes from being likable. You wouldn't be here if you didn't like me, right? Has to be some kind of likability, otherwise you wouldn't even be here. So anyway, you don't want to be chasing either. Instead of that, we want to use attraction, law of attraction things, right? And we'll get into that here in the next slide. But if you're going and you're hunting people down, like you're going to have that emotion of desperation. That emotion is going to transfer onto the person that we're talking to. This is the key thing to understand, right? And this is why a lot of people get it backwards because their mindset isn't right at the very beginning. Because we go into network marketing thinking, oh, I got to get a sale. I got to get a sale because I got to grow my business, right? I got to make this money so that I can pay the bills. So we come from the complete opposite spectrum than what we need to be at versus, well, we should find the problem and then be the solution to that problem, right? Why do you think that they want Dorea so badly? Because she's a solution to many people's problems. If you understand, and let me tap on that for a second. If you really understood and understand what your true value, true worth is, you would not sit on your ass. If you truly knew what your value was, you'd be able to go out there and make anything happen. Ooh, and I get goosebumps as I say this. But I believe that that's one of the biggest problems that many people have is they don't know their value. I didn't even know what my value was until I was doing door to door some 18 years ago, and I understood that I could write my own paycheck. When you know you can write your own paycheck versus having to go to work for somebody else, that's where that lost transition comes into play. That's why we started this mission 5 years ago, right? Anyway, the old way fails. So let's do it the new way. Let's do it the right way. So how do we do it with the attraction flow? Well, let's just give you 5 easy steps, right? Super simple to remember. So we're going from a scroll to a real conversation because we're talking about using social media, and it doesn't matter whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, right? It's all the same difference because you're still using social media, which is different from the direct marketing. So direct marketing is directly pitching and selling, right? And yes, Virgil and I even talk about and we exchange educational ideas and information when it comes to the culmination or the coming together, if you will, of where direct marketing meets internet or network marketing. And I'm somebody that understands that fold far too well. Right? So you got to be able to make that connection. And then the first thing we're going to do is the post. Well, what is your post? What are you actually saying on social media? What are you actually saying? What is that post that's actually driving people towards you or repelling, because that's what a lot of us might be doing, is actually repelling people because of the actual post of what we're actually posting on social media, right? So we put out the proper post. We go into ChatGPT if we need to, or we consult a professional like myself, right? They engage means they like or they comment because of the curiosity posts. That gives us the ability to now start the communication on our Facebook or Instagram or wherever, right? And then now we can switch over into Messenger or phone, right? The key thing that you want to do is get them off of Facebook, get them off of social media, right? Even if you're on social media, use Facebook Messenger audio, video, one of the two. Coming soon, conference rooms for the losttransition.com, right? And then you start your opener. How's the opener? Hey, how's it going? How's your day going so far? You're opening the door for a conversation. right? As you're having the conversation, step 4, you're going to build rapport. This is where we build that like in the know, like, and trust. Everybody with me? Yeah? Cool. And then number 5 is what we call the bridge. This is where we bridge into business. If, a big if the conversation goes the way that you want it to go. You don't want to force it. You don't want to push it. You don't want to rush it. Okay? But each one of these steps has to be followed. If you try to do an opener before you do a post, well, that's not going to work, obviously, right? You have to lead them to you like a magnet, like you're holding a big old magnet, right? So, step 1 is that post. Let's let the law of attraction work for you, right? That doesn't mean go out there and post 5, 10 times a day. That means post, see if it resonates with your audience. If it doesn't, grab the data, gather the data, and then make the adjustments. You're going to have to fine tune and dial in. And then once you're dialed in, then that's where the consistency comes, right? So we post something on Facebook that sparks the curiosity. Maybe it's a win or a question, right? We tell you guys get really good at asking questions and telling stories. Those two are the best out there. So put a question out there or a story. As an example, I put a question out before we went live. Oh, who is that? Spammers. Put a question out before we went live, just so I get the proper verbiage. And all it was just a question. It says, are you ready to come out from the bottom yet? It's just a
Repeat the
question.
question.
Are you ready to come out from the bottom yet? Got it? It's just a question, right? But it's a listening question because I'm trying to target my audience. Trying to target somebody that's at the bottom saying, yes, I'm ready to come from the bottom. You understand? Psychology, everybody with me? Yeah? Anna, you good? Okay, cool. My point is, that's not an ad, right? It's not a pitch. It's just a question that I want people to stop what they're doing in their scrolling habitats and actually get inside their brain and ask a simple, quick question that typically is going to require a closed-ended answer, which is a yes or a no, versus an open-ended question that's going to give you any kind of response that you want, right? Or I would go and I would tell a story. Another version, if you want to go onto my page, you can see plenty of them, right? Then the next step is to engage, right? So if somebody goes in there and they like it because Facebook, the gods of Facebook allow us to be seen. If somebody likes it, they comment, they raise their hand, whatever the case may be. That's your signal. Okay, well, this person is actually interested. Like it can't get any easier than this, than what we're explaining. I'm not going to go approach somebody unless I need to approach them. And if I approach them, then I need to approach them the right way, right? But if they like it and stuff, well, that's your green light. Okay, cool. This person is now allowed the door to open for me to engage in conversation. Right? It's like a permission in essence. A comment is now the invitation. Come on in and let's start this conversation. Right? Now you can move into messenger after you say, "Hey, thanks for the love and support." What have you, however you normally respond, that's how I respond, right? Now I can move into Messenger, right? Here comes the opener. I'm telling you, this is so, so simple. I do it every day, even at the grocery store. Hey, how's it going? How's your day going so far? Easiest opening line that you can use in network marketing, in Messenger, on the phone, in text, everywhere. Hey, how's it going? How's your day going so far? Make sure you use tonal inflection, especially if you're on the phone. Make sure you stay hydrated. But why does it work? Well, here's the secret, as I expose right here. There's no pitch, right? No agenda. It's just a human being generally like, hey, how's it going? Then you're going to thank them for connecting. Hey, listen to their answer. That's it. Like I'd say, hey, thanks for reaching out, right? What we're doing again is I want you to understand this. It's like, I look at this as, because of my door-to-door experience, I look at it as opening or closing doors. Whether I see it as a physical door or not, it's still a door inside of your head. Make sense? I want you to try to start seeing it through my eyes and how I see it, because if you can see my perspective, you'll understand. Even that conversation is just like, well, am I opening the door with the conversation or with my question or my story, or am I closing it? Right? Because all you really want to do is just be able to open the door, get your foot in the door. I'm sure you've heard that, right? There's phrases and where they come from, there's reasons that they even came. That's one of them, right? We want to get our foot in the door. If we can get our foot in the door, we can allow that other person to now open that door and be open for that conversation, right? That's where you build that likability before the know, like, and trust, right? That's where it makes everything possible. But if you don't do it this way and you're automatically like, oh yeah, yeah, hey, come take a look at my business, or even better, hey, thanks for responding. Here's the link. Are you kidding me? Come on. People do that, believe it or not. They still do it. Kind of build that likability, right? So here's steps 4 and 5. Rapport, which comes after the likability, and then the bridge. So step 4 is rapport. Hey, thanks so much for reaching out, connecting. Really glad you did. Find some common ground, but ask about them. We talk about using the form, right? Family, occupation, recreation, motivation, right? Ask about them first. This is the key factor, guys. Don't make it about the post. Don't make it about the fact that they actually responded to something that you didn't know if they were going to respond to or not, right? This is the beautiful thing about it. And again, if you follow the steps, it makes life so much simpler. And then you're just having conversations and they come naturally. And then guess what? Like me, you'll start knowing what they're going to say before they even say it. It's literally like being Neo in the Matrix. I'm like, I knew you were going to say that. Right? Ask about them. What's going on? You married? You single? Animals? Pets? Friends? Right? What do you do for fun? Play any video games? And all the while, right, with that rapport, what you're really doing is you're just trying to find that commonality after that. So there's likability that happens first, and then there's commonality. So what do you have that's common, right? Dre and I are both common military, right? Anna, we're into network marketing and learning and training. Gene, same thing. Virgil, we're into coaching and training. We're into tools. Horta is into flying. I'd like to fly. I would love to fly a plane someday. Am I actively pursuing that? No. Am I actively living vicariously through Jorge? Yes. Right? Right. Hey, Peter. Didn't see you drop in. Good thing you made it. And Mikey. Hi. Hello. So then the bridge. Okay. After we've done that, we've talked a little bit about it, found out a little bit more about them. We've allowed them to talk so that they know that they're a person, not a number. The moment that they feel that they're a number, ooh, guess what? Walls going up. Intruder alert, intruder alert, right? Oops, before I go farther. Then we go into step 5, which is the bridge. Always, always, always. I can't stress this enough. This is the magic that I had to learn from my online mentor that I paid over $1,000 to learn. Okay. do a state change. You need to make them laugh. Make sure that they're in a good head frame before you try to transition into business. If you can make them laugh, it's literally like an eraser to the brain. You need to understand this. I can't express it more and more. The best way that I can explain it to you, too, in case you're new to this, you haven't heard about it, is think about any time that you might have been in a conversational group with people. They call it the water cooler conversation, right? And then somebody makes a joke and everybody laughs. And, and then there's that silence, right? Right afterwards, until somebody then jumps into the conversation. Okay. That silence is the board being erased. Everybody with me? You make sense? Yes? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a yes, something. Yeah? Make sure you guys are alive over there. I don't want to bore you, but I'm explaining this to you. Like, here's the keys to the kingdom. Here's how to do it. Like, make sure you get the bridge done after you do the state change. Then you move into the bridge. Now you got to remember, right? People are coming to us because of the posts that we put. So what's your next question? Start the line of questions. Well, so let me ask you, what has you looking for more income? Or what has you looking for better health? Or what has you looking for a better poopsie scale? Right? Because at that point, you've earned it because you've gone through those steps and you've made that potential customer feel good about what's happening. You've built the buying atmosphere. You've done all those things that we've talked about over the past 24 weeks. If you go back and you watch every single week, I'm telling you, up to this week, Virgil, yes or no? They would know so much off of these 24 weeks and be able to just have all kinds of conversations.
100%. 100%.
Thank you. Same principles apply though, any channel. Okay, I said this earlier. I talk about this, I do it in the grocery store, even if I'm talking to some random person on the street. It's all the same. It's all part of my script. And hey, how's it going? How's your day going so far? If I'm in person, I'm going to say, my name is Robert, and you are? I'm going to use give to get. I know I've talked about that before. And then I'm going to start asking them about themselves. Hey, so what's your interest? What's your likes? What's your dislikes? And then I'm going to find out whether or not we vibe and whether or not they could potentially be interested in what it is that I've got, whether or not they need it. And if through that rapport building I find it, then automatically what I'm going to do is I'm going to state change them, make sure that they laugh and they say, "Hey, you mentioned such and such, right? What have you done to correct that? How long has it been this way? What happens if you don't fix that?" These are all great questions that you should know, and these are the ones that you should be asking people. That's the one that's going to open that door wide open. Now you're just collecting information, right? Collecting information so that you deliver the right answers. So in Messenger, I say, let the post pull them to you first, and then open warm. Hey, how's your day? Then thanks them for connecting, build the rapport before any business, right? In person, lead with a real smile, right? You want to make sure you make eye contact. Another quick tip that I can throw in here that I know some of you guys may love. Whenever you're having a conversation, there's a triangle effect. I'm just going to throw this in here as a little gold nugget, if you will. There's a triangle effect that I want you to consider whenever you're having a direct communication with them. Dorea, you'll probably love this even the most. And they have two eyes and one mouth, right? So you see it's like an upside down triangle. As you're having a conversation with them so that you're not making them feel weird, you want to have eye contact with them, but you want to switch eyes. Like one moment you'll switch and you'll look at the left eye. Another one, as you're talking, you'll switch and move to the right eye. And then another moment you'll look at their mouth, especially when they're talking. But if you just keep facial contact on these 3 points, your conversations in person will go a lot better. You're welcome. Golden rules of opening. All right. We're not going to beat a dead horse. We're almost out of time, and I want to get you all's feedback for today. Attract, don't chase, right? The like has to come first. If you can't build that likability before going in a pitch, it's not going to happen. You're going to screw up your first impression. And I'm telling you guys, it's so difficult to have to go back. And you're really going to have to be able to put your pride and ego aside and be able to come back and say, man, my apologies. I probably oversold it the first time. I didn't mean to make you feel that way. I've actually done that. You know, if somebody says, "Oh, I'm not interested," one of the responses that I put on Ray Higdon's was like, "Oh, no, I'm not interested. No, no, no. I don't collect interest. I'm not a bank." That's what we used to say. But you won't get the not interested if you build that likability first, find out that there's a need for that problem, right? But the like comes first, right? And then never pitch in the opener. Make sure that you get past the rapport stage. Otherwise, your conversation is dead in the water. And then obviously number four and final, which is most important, is make sure that you make that state change before you switch to business. Some of the opening killers, we've already repeated this. Feel like I'm beating a dead horse at this particular point. Pitching in message one, right? Don't start the first message off with pitch. Copy and paste spam openers. I loathe those. How many of you here loathe those copy and paste books that they put out with the link at the bottom, right? They just, they just copied and pasted it. Like that is such a turnoff, right? Or hey, want to make money? Right? Automatically, warning, warning, danger, Will Robinson, danger, right? And then chasing cold strangers, right? If you're out there just chasing people that aren't even looking for you, well, then expect that you're going to get more no's. We want to lead you to a focused audience to where you'll get yeses instead of those no's, right? So that your spirit isn't broken by getting a bunch of people telling you no, and you're not left crying on the curb, right? Now, the other bad thing is talking only about you. As I mentioned before, you want to ask them about them. You don't matter in this picture until it comes to the fact that we learn that you're the one with the life preserver and they're the one drowning, right? I know, again, that's psychological, but when you understand that portion of it too, and you know that you're the person that has the solution to their problem, then you can really make it easy for you to disassociate yourself with whatever feelings that you have if they decide to join or not join, right? Again, if somebody joins, great. If they don't, that's okay too, right? But you can't skip the rapport part. You need to get to the rapport part. Okay? If you can't get past the part, you're not going to get the sale. So, this particular point in time, I trust you guys got some value. We got at least a few minutes. Again, I wanted to make sure I got this out to you in enough time so that we had a few moments to talk about it without, going over. I know we've been going over lately, and obviously it's all for the betterment of what we're doing here. But I'd love to hear your takeaways. Like, what do you think about the information that I gave you today? Answer any one of these questions, right? What's one curiosity sparking post that you could put up this week, maybe, or write whatever? What do you normally open with? These are the things I'd love to hear. Where do you flow? You know, anybody care to speak on that?
I think it's important.
would love to give you a couple of my takeaways.
Sure, please do, Lisa. Ladies first.
Definitely. I'm sorry, I'm on my phone, so I couldn't see the hand
No worries.
if I
No worries.
bumped in there. But first of all, was like no trust. And it's not about the pitch, it's about the people or about the person.
Right.
And I also loved the silence after the state change is the board being erased. That was, and I felt that happening, but to have those words put to it is really amazing. And are you ready to have more energy yet? Are you ready to get through your afternoon without that slump yet.
There you go.
And my apologies, because I've let too much time pass
I love
and
it.
then go on. That's it.
Bravo, Dr. Lisa. Bravo. Thank you. Virgil, how about you? Oh, you're muted, brother.
My big takeaway is the importance of understanding that each one of these conversations that we're having actually follows structure. Often enough, we try to get into these conversations without structure. And this is when we get the no's or we get the unexpected outcome. However, if you understand that you can have a conversation with no direction with a friend, but when you're out there marketing, you're already having specific goals, targets set, you have a persona, you have a lot of information that you're going by, right? So conversation openers are in line with the interest that you're putting out there, and they follow also the reaction of the people. And of course, um, if people don't like you, they don't associate with you. Hence the importance of making that first good impression, right? Uh, Online, the good impression is subtle. It's just a like or a comment, but it's how you turn that how you turn that connection into a long-lasting relationship is the trick. And if you don't have a roadmap that you're following, um, you are at a loss. Even the question getting you to the state change or the bridge. These are all part of your assessment conversation, right? When you have an opportunity there that you are sure is a perfect fit for the candidate that you're discussing this with, or potentially the connection that you made, you go automatically to these selection questions, right? The trick is making those part of your conversation,
Right.
right? What do you like? What tools do you use? How efficient are they? Right? Speaking of tool, this is one I like. This is how I get these things done. So you go into these exchanges, and it's also so important in a conversation to always value the person's input, right? Because this is where you're getting all the information, and this is where you're getting those clues or those hints to be able to break that ice, make that state change. It's also important, breaking the ice. Often enough, we think that we only break the ice at the beginning when you're making the connection. However, when you're about to pivot to a specific offer, there's another uh, bridge there. There's another state change. There's another, okay, we've warmed up enough for me to go into that second part of the conversation, the interest that brings us both together. So big kudos as well as always, a lot of value. Uh, Understand that everything is mapped out in this exchange process that we're having.
Yeah, it's a process, right? And once you understand that process and how to use it, the process works, right? Like we say, systems work, people don't. But there's a something that I correlated to while you were talking about it, because again, I've done all kinds of sales. I correlate it to boost sales, is how I'm gonna try to lay this down to you guys, okay? What I mean by a booth sale is that means you're on the street or in a marketplace, wherever it is, and you have a booth with your business, right? Okay. You can either have an attractive booth that's going to draw people to you, and they're going to, oh, well, what's this? What's this? Right? Because people naturally are nosy and they want to look. Or you could be that guy that has a subpar looking a tent that doesn't attract many people to it, and you're outside of that tent trying to pass out flyers to everybody that's walking by, and most of them aren't even interested in what it is that you're selling. Everybody with me on that? That's what comes into my mind. So again, if you can try to see it through my eyes and what I'm explaining, it might make more sense to you too. But thank you for
No,
sharing that.
it's super pertinent. The booth cell analogy, for somebody who currently pop shops are my thing, right? Trying to get into these pop shop event and place the merchandise, looking also at the dynamics in the market here because the economy here is market based. And you can see you have 20 people lined up with the same product. The reason why you go to this one as opposed to that one is the connection they made afar. And they have turned masters into making friends in 2 seconds.
Yeah, and
They
even if
have,
I'm at a
they,
booth,
no,
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off if I did.
no, go
Even
ahead, go ahead.
if I'm at a booth and I'm out front, I'm not going to just try to pursue everybody that's there. I'm going to just acknowledge as they go by and say, hey, how's it going? Right? How's your day going so far? If I catch them enough time, otherwise they're just going to walk by. And if I'm interrupting what they're doing, well, guess what they're going to tell me? Ah, I'm busy. Right. So many times, especially in the sales world, we put ourselves in those positions to get an objection instead of getting away from the objection and getting the yes. So thank you for that feedback. Gene, go ahead,
Oh,
brother.
pleasure.
What, sorry, what means a boo? A
So a
boo?
booth, here in the United
And
States,
kiosk,
Seth?
and kiosk.
Oh,
I was translating it in French.
oh, gotcha,
Un
gotcha.
kiosque, en fait, since she speaks.
Like a kiosk?
What?
Kiosk?
Yeah, yeah, a kiosk. It's the same thing as a booth, right?
I don't know what it is in French also.
Okay.
Oh,
In where you live, do you go to like a mall or a bazaar or where
Yeah,
you go
yeah,
shopping? Right?
yeah,
So when you go shopping, there's different places that are selling things.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those would be booths,
Ah, okay, okay.
like a booth here, a booth here, a booth
yeah.
here. In the
And
context that I'm talking about, like I've literally gotten a 10 by 10 pop-up tent, something that you would take to the beach, like a pop-up tent, and a table and
Yeah,
two chairs.
yeah.
Obviously, whatever kind of marketing materials, a banner in the background, whatever you're selling, and that would be a booth. But it's a business, just a pop-up business, and it's movable, and you can move it wherever you want to.
Okay,
Make
thank
sense?
you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for asking. Go ahead, Gene.
Thank you. First off, the curiosity sparking post I could do is, are you ready to know more about the unknown? Since
I
I'm going to be talking about Expedition Unknown.
I love that.
And that can generate some responses and likes and stuff. And then I can literally use that to spark conversations in DMs and lead them to subscribing.
There you go.
So,
Super simple.
um,
And the
now,
beautiful thing too, just to top, and look, we're not saying you're going to be an overnight sensation YouTube star, right? We know that, right?
exactly.
Take some time. But the beautiful thing is that you can lead with subscriptions and it's free for people. As long as they can support the mission, then you could potentially get paid from ad revenue on YouTube, right?
The back end,
You
yeah.
can also put other product placements just like we are now. Go to thelosttransition.com. Haha. You
I'm
know,
already going to talk to you about that, but go ahead.
yeah, for sure, for sure. But I love it, man. I'm excited for you, and I can't wait to see the first one. I love Josh, man. I love the Expedition Unknown. I love that show.
Thank you. And then you said something very powerful at the start of this slide presentation. You earn each step before the next. The
I
key
love it.
word is earn,
Amen.
and that's a very powerful statement there. Um, and then I've put my notes here. Um, Also, when you're asking someone, "How's it going? How's your day going so far?" You're gauging them on whether it's even the right time to pitch them in the first place.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm having a bad day. My wife left me. The mortgage is due. The car got repoed. My dog died. Oh, here, let me tell you this. No.
Right. I love it.
But you're able to turn that into, you're able to humanize that situation by sitting there and saying, to just listen. We'll talk about it. Is there anything I can, help you with verbally, can give you advice or anything like that. And they'll remember that and wrap back around in the long run because you impressed upon them that their concerns were more powerful than what you were trying to pitch them in the first place.
Amen, brother. Amen. And I love it when y'all get it. I love it when y'all get it. That
And
was a
then
great note. Oh,
going
more.
back to what you were talking about with meeting someone live, It's not, it isn't just selling a product or service. It's also for general networking, is selling yourself. So someone like Dorea can go to a networking event for businesses. She's not there to promote veteran affairs. She's there to meet people. She's there to get business cards, to get contacts, and literally, ask people questions and gain these friendships, because these people might be people that she and her fellow veterans may need in the future. She might meet a mortgage broker there who um, who takes a liking to her and everything. And let's say that the Veteran Affairs Association or whatever it's called, it comes out with a new mortgage type plan, that she can reach back out to that broker and work with different veterans and that person. So, following all these steps are the same thing for just general networking. So,
Yep. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. I'm over here subscribing to everybody's channel.
thank you.
All right, we'll get that subscription base out. Appreciate you sharing, brother, and thank you. Great note taking. Thanks for the feedback. Jorge, what'd you get?
Well, your response to "I'm not interested" kind of got me thinking
I love
when
it.
you said, "I don't collect interest, I'm not a bank." Uh, but in average, would people laugh or they will get upset because it's a very smart answer?
Well, it's a pattern interrupt is what it's called.
Because I could apply it on some of my activities, because one thing that I've done for a long time is teach people about the infinite banking concept.
Sure.
And so I could say, well, uh, I'd, I see that you're thinking that I'm collecting interest here, but I haven't made you a loan. My information is free.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And what I love about it is a pattern interrupt and it makes you laugh because there's a state change. You get it? The whole line that and reason why I even said it right was because it was to the not interested. Well, if they're saying you're not interested, that means that because you approach them too fast, right, before building that rapport and likability. So the normal response back in the day, I would say, is no, 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 I don't collect interest. I'm not a bank. So what are you not interested in? And then we would use, obviously, body language. It's called scrunchy face, shake hand, no, upside down, palm turned, finger paint, facing them.
And, that's a good continuation. What are you not interested
Right.
about or something? All right.
And then
Thank
that's
you.
where that's where if they come back, oh, I'm not interested in what you're selling, whatever else. That's where the apology comes in. Oh, my apologies. You must have thought that I was trying to sell you something. No, the information I'm giving out is free, right? And then if you consider it and think about it, well, they should have responded to your information anyway. So what would they not be not interested about? The only reason they would be not interested, again, is if you go try to sell them too fast or give them the product that they don't need without building that likability or building that rapport.
Yeah, well, I guess I was lucky that you didn't come to my door to sell me, because I get a lot of door sell people at my house,
Yeah.
and I know that they are not that they are looking to sell their stuff. So I tell, well, I tell them right up front, I'm not interested, and they keep going and pushing and say, I'm not interested, and then they continue and say, well, what part of no you don't understand?
Sure, right. What part of no don't you understand?
Well, thank
Hmm.
you, Robert.
I love it. Thank you, brother. Thanks for the feedback. I appreciate you being here. So, look, here's this week's challenge, okay? The challenge: put up one curiosity post, okay? And I hope, I trust, we don't use hope anymore. I trust that you guys have been following along and at least trying to do the 12-minute conversation and the five conversations per hour. I'd really love to hear some feedback about that. I know we're not directly pressing you on it, but if you guys got any feedback on that in the coming weeks, I'd love to hear about it. But put up one curiosity post this week. When people engage, open up in every messenger, chat, warm and a human. Hey, how's your day going? How's your day going so far? And what I want you to do is I want you to track those that you start because guess what? Ta-da! That's part of your 5 conversations per hour. And when you start having that conversation per hour, just pull out your watch real quick and set a timer, right? And just put it in front of you and do your best not to go over 12 minutes. If you go over 12 minutes, it's not going to be the life or death of you, right? All you're doing is realistically what I'm trying to teach you is to just be observant or have the awareness of what it is or how you're talking and how much time that you're spending with each particular prospect. Because again, if you're considered to do 5 conversations per hour, you can only do 12 minutes per. So what I challenge you guys to do is learn to take all this information and then pre-plan your hour conversation. Pre-plan the 5 people that you're going to talk to. I hope you guys are picking up what I'm throwing down. Pre-plan the fact that they're already qualified for what it is that you're going to talk to them about instead of just random strangers that you're going to have random conversations with, right? But make sure you build rapport first. Again, don't mention business until like it's real, like it's that time. And then I want you to notice how different the responses feel and how genuine the conversations typically go as well. So, like I said, appreciate y'all being here. Trust all you all got some value. Next week, we're gonna start digging in deeper, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, and start digging into some of these objections. Right. Next week, we're gonna talk about handling the "I need to think about it" objection that some people get because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you're worth liking. On that, let's go out there and have a great day today, guys. TGIM, toot toot, love you, bye bye. Don't forget how to Tuesday tomorrow, Virgil. Yes, we go. All right, we'll see y'all then.
Absolutely, yes.